Hi guys, and welcome back to Antimatter Dimensions New Game Plus Plus Plus. So first of all, I can buy some new dilation upgrades and start a dilated run. Just gonna get my stuff. I think there's time dimension scaling, by the way, but I can start a dilated run for 3 septillion tachyon particles, so I'll get this. But this is even bigger. I have enough time theorems to unlock meta dimensions. I'm just gonna get my replicated galaxies up first. It's really annoying, but it's something we have to deal with. And I'm going to unlock meta dimensions in 3, 2, 1. 0, and bam. So as you can see, we have 10 meta antimatter translated to a 100 million times multiplier per dimension boost. So I can buy a first meta dimension, and as you can see, once my meta antimatter exceeds 10, my antimatter will start going up because dimension boosts will be more powerful, and I can buy another one. It's just like part 1 all over again. And has a 1.5 times multiplier. I think it's based on dilated time. So I'm not going to buy them right away. I want to get this number up. You can see my antimatter is going up whenever that number is going up. And now I have 10 first meta dimensions, so I can start getting second ones. And as you can see, meta antimatter percentage to quantum, because look, quantum requires E446 meta antimatter and an Eternity Challenge 14 completion. Lose all your previous progress if I get a boost. An Eternity Challenge 14 is part of another thing later on in the time studies. Look, Mastery Portal is part of that. But, yeah, so... Oh, and there's also new dilation upgrades. Gain a multiplier to meta dimensions based on tick speed. Meta dimension shifts boost and per 10 upgrades are boosted by dilated time. Meta antimatter effect on dimension boost is stronger, and dilated time reduction is boosted based on best meta antimatter. I'm gonna get... I'll just get all of them. And I think we're up to octillions times multiplier per dimension boost. And I'm almost gonna get a third meta dimension. This is literally part 1 all over again. And also there's no tick speed, no galaxies, and no sacrifice. Only boosts, because there's also meta dimension boosts. And we have to get back to 10,000 meta antimatter, which is annoying. And our dilated time is just gonna go at a steady rate. And we have to keep, yeah, we just have to keep getting our meta dimensions up. We're not even at 1%. And it's more than E308, it's like that to the 1.45 or something. Okay, I want to get to 1% here. 0.95, 0.96, 0.97, 0.98, 0.99, and 1. Great. So I can keep buying these third meta dimensions. And it's just gonna keep accelerating. It's slow. I still don't want to get back up to 32,000. Wow, my eternity points are back up, finally. And there we go, that's 10 third meta dimensions. So I can get more first ones. I think you can also hold M for these. which is cool. And I'm gonna get more of these first ones. And look at my meta antimatter per second, it's almost at 5,000, which means that once I get this, I'll be able to get back up to 30,000 quite easily and keep going up. So the next thing's at 1 million. So we're gonna get the fourth meta dimension. And this is only 1.6. I thought it would be a bit higher for Super Spruce. It was 2.4. But anyway, 400,000. This is so slow, even in this first bit. Hopefully we'll be able to meta dimension shift soon. It's exactly like the beginning, apart from a few differences. And there we go. Look at this, 1 million meta antimatter. So I can buy a fourth meta dimension, and it's producing third ones. And I could, am I in my dilation build? I am in my dilation build. That's crazy. I kind of want to stay here, so I'll just casually. Yeah, it looks like they're scaling. It's not very harsh, though. I'll just get my replicated galaxies as I'm doing this. And okay. Look at this number shoot up. It's gonna get to E49. And we have 3 fourth meta dimensions. We have 4. And we can keep going. And I think that this doesn't reset on a meta dimension boost or shift. But it does reset on quantum. Because quantum is a whole new prestige layer. Not just for meta dimensions. Like for the whole game. Like you'll reset your eternity points and stuff. And I'm excited for that. It's gonna be in part 100. I'm aiming for that. And yeah, so now we're gonna have 10 fourth meta dimensions. Whoa, look at my eternity points. It's at like E22,000. That is crazy. And I can get the second one. It's not very hard. If you want to watch this episode again, just go watch part 1. And yeah, so it's literally the same as that. So I think I'm gonna do this meta dimension shift thing next episode. And there's a new mechanic before quantum. It's the mastery studies I told you about here. I already told you there's new eternity challenges. There's also going to be new eternity milestones. Like, I think it's like when you unlock the 8th meta dimension or something. And they require like billions of eternities. And also this achievement here, its reward will really help in the second quantum, so I want to get it. Like I saw Super Spruce's video. It was overpowered in the second quantum. Okay, I'm just gonna eternity again because it looks like we can get a lot of eternity points. And I can keep going. And we need like 10 of these. We're getting over 1 million meta antimatter per second now. And I know it's like a grind to quantum, and everyone thinks the requirement should be reduced a little bit. They don't want to reduce it to E308 because that's too little, but they wanted to reduce it to like E420 or something. Around there. And there we go. Now I'm getting 5 million meta antimatter per second, and the next thing costs 1 billion meta antimatter. I think this can help you a little bit with production. this dimension boost thing. Like, it gives like a few million orders of magnitude. And I know there's dimension boost scaling at 560,000, which is not great, but it's probably just necessary. And we're getting so many of them, and they're now buffed. Like, you know how it's overpowered to buff each tick speed upgrade with the galaxy? Well, this is like buffing each dimension boost, which is similar, to be honest. It's similar to just getting lots and lots of galaxies. That's the thing. We're up to 500 million meta antimatter. We're getting closer and closer to 24th meta dimensions. No new dilation upgrades yet. I will Eternity again. And keep going. Hopefully there's something that'll boost dilated time, because, the thing is, I know that the requirement for unlocking mastery studies is to get all 4 of these upgrades. And so hopefully I'll just be able to get more dilated time before then. These upgrades might get better and it might get faster. And maybe while dilated, these meta dimensions could help. And I need 1 billion again to get another 3rd one. I'm just constantly holding R throughout this whole video, by the way. And we're almost at E2 billion antimatter, which is cool. It's like getting millions of free galaxies. It's tempting to push to E2 billion, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. Like, I jumped up like a few 100 million orders of magnitude in this episode. So this will sort of interrupt our progression, but then make it faster again. Okay, we have nearly 1,000 third meta dimensions, which is cool. But we have to wait for our meta antimatter, unfortunately. And I don't know if I should start another production run. Maybe I should. You know what, I'll just do it. And I think the scaling is only on the first 4 time dimensions, but I'm not sure. Come on. Letting go of R can help you get your, like, actual amount of antimatter. And yeah, so there we go. Those are my replicated galaxies. You can get these. And we wrote like E 1.988 billion before. The meta dimensions have really helped with general production, but not dilation. Unfortunately, maybe I could try dilating just to see if these meta dimensions provide any significant boosts, like while dilated. Okay, it looks like we're back up to our best antimatter, normal antimatter. Like E 1.994. We're so close to E2 billion. I want to get it. Maybe if I let my meta dimensions build up, that'll do the trick. And 1.999. There we go, E2 billion. And that's another 10 third meta dimensions. So the next thing we need is 10 billion meta antimatter. And I do want to try dilating. So, I have to go into my actual build. And, well, let's eat 1 million antimatter while dilated. Oh, and that did actually help. Not all that much, but it helps for sure. And we can get a few stuff here. And there's also another achievement coming soon that will help us. It's down here for getting 1,000,000 tick speed upgrades from time dimensions, and it gives us an auto bar for the eternity point multiplier and the time dimensions, which is a nice thing because I have to buy those like every production run. And another achievement for getting 100,000 Replicati will let us buy max Replicati galaxies. So it'll just make the beginning of each eternity much faster and better. Oh, nice. I'm back to 10 billion meta antimatter, so I can start buying the first meta dimensions. And, yeah, so it's a little bit of a time wall, but E2 point, like, I just keep on progressing. Like, this is just like free progression, basically. If I want my dimension boost a little bit more powerful, just wait. Really, like, if you don't have to, you don't even have to do anything. It's crazy. Feels like I'm in some kind of inflation era. Okay, of course that's a little bit slow, just like part 1, which was like 25 minutes, by the way. But, so I got a row 14 achievement for unlocking meta dimensions. Then once for getting the 8th meta dimension, E40,000 eternity points, 10 meta dimension boost, 1,000,000,000 eternities, E100,000 replicanti, 1,000,000 tick speed upgrades from time dimensions, and 700 of each galaxy. These are all coming up, and some of their rewards will help. We're up to 454 dilated galaxies for that achievement, and almost 700 replicated galaxies. Oh, another first meta dimension. The time will slowly get shorter as this number here goes up. And, we just need a few more tens of millions, and then it's a grind to 1 trillion. And, yes, so, E38, and the next upgrade's at E39, so I also might want to start a production run, and maybe for short runs I should be using Study 226, but I'll just keep doing what I'm doing because I'm cool. And this is down to like 4.1%, but I don't know when we'll be able to get E100,000 replicanti. Come on. We need like 680. There we go. And we can get more of these. This is up to 550 million, which isn't all that big, but it's exactly like the first run. And we're up to like E2.03 billion again, and our best antimatter is E2.039 billion. So you just have to get the meta dimensions and the dilation upgrades. I think that's literally what you do at this point, and production runs, if I'm not mistaken, and we're gonna get some of these eventually. So, okay, we're already back up to our best antimatter. These extra replicated galaxies are also sort of easy little galaxy-like boosts to get. And I need some... I'm just gonna get my best meta antimatter up, and... Ooh. I can get 10 first meta dimensions, which means I'll be going even faster. And I can get the second ones way faster than I got the first ones. This isn't what antimatter dimensions is. It's just like the first episode. Except we have a starting multiplier instead of tick speed, and no sacrifice, and no galaxies. And it's only that first part that really matters so far. Also the starting multiplier and no tick speed upgrades. Yeah, that. We can gain some more eternity points, but I don't really want to do it just yet. Like, we want like several hundred orders of magnitude of eternity points at this stage, I think. And this episode's all in one sitting because, well, episode 1 wasn't, so yeah, I can do it here. I thought the starting multiplier would be a bit bigger, like 2.4, but apparently not. Okay, now it's a grind to get to 1 trillion. meta-antimatter, and this is surprisingly slow. Like, I only have 2 billion per second, and I need 1 trillion. But the fact that this boost is going up now is really helping. Like, we keep getting more millions of orders of magnitude and so many dimension boosts. And 1,000 galaxies, normal galaxies, despite the remote scaling. And 722 replicated galaxies if you count the extra ones. But I don't know if they count towards the achievement. Okay, now I want, like, it just gets to the point where I want to start another production run, basically. I think they're scaling, by the way. Because it's like 4 orders of magnitude now for each first time dimension. And we just need 1 trillion meta-antimatter. It's gonna be a bit hard. And I don't really want to cut, but, there we go, that's my replicated galaxies. Dilation. Come on. Whenever I check dilation, we're always close to another dilated galaxy. But it's just 280, 290, 300, 310. Our meta-antimatter per second's up to 4 billion. And soon I'll be able to meta-dimension shift. It'll happen soon, I promise, guys. Well, actually, I'll do it next episode, but I kind of want to get to 24th meta dimensions today. And if this episode's longer than 25 minutes, just know that it's because this multiplier is less than I was expecting. And we're up to 500 billion meta-antimatter. Although I do want 10 trillion, like, in total. But don't worry, it accelerates, guys. It's not going to take hours. And we're nearly halfway to being a tenth. We're over halfway to being a tenth of the way done. And that's at least, like, we might even be halfway done, assuming it's all polynomial growth to the 4. But yeah, we have like 4 times as much meta-antimatter per second as when we started going for 1 trillion. We're up to 4038 dilated time. It's just very steady. And we're almost up to 1 trillion meta-antimatter. And yeah. So we're up to like 7 billion meta-antimatter per second, which will make the rest of the grind not such a big deal. And so I'm gonna buy my 11th 4th meta dimension. And now getting back to 1 trillion won't be such a pain. And, well, it will be a little bit of a pain, but not as much as before. Like, this is going up. It's gonna get to 10 billion soon. And then, we're already back up to, like, 200 billion. And this is already a little bit of a pain in the main game. And I'm gonna turn it again. Wow, that's almost up to like 20 orders of magnitude per upgrade. Still like 4. I think the scaling might use a very similar formula to this scaling. Because it's like very gradual. I think that in this one the exponent increases to a polynomial constant of 1.2. We're quadratic. Where like the post E308 dimension scaling would be a polynomial growth constant of 2. And you know what I mean. Okay, we're up to 11 billion meta-antimatter per second, which will make this faster. Well, is it down to 0.39%? Oh, and we're up to 2.67% to quantum, which is cool. Like, this is actually existent. And 1 trillion again, finally. And now we're getting a bit more meta-antimatter per second. And so this is just going to be a few more minutes. So, no, we're not up yet to where we were. In terms of eternity points, we're not that much higher, I mean. And it's just a waiting game. We're up to 14 billion meta-antimatter per second. And it's growing fast. I wish we had like per second and stuff. This per second becomes irrelevant later on, just like with the normal antimatter. Like, it's just equal. Come on. 900 billion. That's just another minute for each one. I know I probably should be cutting, but I'm not going to. Now I'm going to let this go up for a little bit. Even though it's probably more efficient in the long run to just buy this. Now we're getting like... Okay, now we're getting 16 billion, which means it's just 1 minute for each fourth meta dimension. And less than 6 or 7 minutes for all of them. This episode won't be that long, guys. If it is, then it's because the starting boost isn't as big as I thought. How's our dilated time doing? We're almost halfway there. It's creeping up. But even then, it will be slow because we'll have to get, like, this upgrade. And then this one will help. The tank and particle formula is better. Makes it fast after and slow before the next one. Basically. There we go, another trillion meta-antimatter. So now we're up to 19 billion meta-antimatter per second, which means it's like basically like 50 seconds for each thing. Okay, now we're up to 20 billion meta-antimatter per second. And it grows by 10 million quite quickly now. So we're up to like 4 out of 10 of these, and the last few shouldn't be as difficult as the first ones. And 30,000 replicanti, it just gets faster the more dilated time you have. And here we go. 1 trillion meta-antimatter. 630,000 tick speed upgrades. We want 1 million. I could try eternity farming. And I could also try replicandi farming like overnight, and we just are not quite at lots of these achievements. Once when I did an overnight session, I got like E62,000 replicanti. Which is crazy, but we need E100,000 for the achievement. And it lets us buy max replicanti galaxies, which is really nice. And there we go. It's gonna be like 3 more minutes or something. I'm gonna start another production run, because why not? These are like 18 or 19 orders of magnitude still. We need replicated galaxies. So the whole time I'm spending doing this will be while waiting for the meta-antimatter for the 17th thing. So yeah. We're up to 2.137 billion, so we have to get back up there. Okay, I kind of want to get my best meta-antimatter up. And that helps production slightly. And I can get a 17th one of these. I'm going to do that. This is 397. And we're almost finished. Don't worry, guys, we're almost finished. And we need 2 more, so it's just a matter of like 1 minute. And yeah, so we're like a quarter of the way to the first one. And we just need like 1.5 trillion more meta antimatter. And we're getting close to our best antimatter back already. And this episode's probably getting pretty long, but it's just gonna be another 30 seconds. And yeah, so here we go. 500 billion. Come on, we're so close. And come on. 900 billion and 3, 2, 1. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys later, and I'll get this in the next episode. Bye!